It's a good thing or a bad thing that we have a 95% reduction in illegal crossings? Yeah. Why do you think bad?
Because I don't like borders. I think that it's like everyone's world.
What are you talking about? Y'all are crazy. That's a crazy thing to say.
Here I have facts and figures from Customs and Border Protection. These are calendar year statistics of apprehensions down at the border, people coming across getting apprehended.
Sure.
95% reduction. What changed?
People are scared.
What changed?
Yes.
In terms of the border crossing and illegal crossings?
I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding the question.
There's been a 95% reduction in illegal crossings at the southern border. What changed?
Since when? Well, I'm not quite sure what you're saying here.
Year over year. 2021 to 2000.
Why is everyone so confused? Donald Trump changed. Donald Trump did this. Donald Trump did this, bro. I will say the year is not over. Like, the year is halfway over, so this number will probably double. So it'll go from 108,000 to probably around 250,000, upwards of that, especially since it's warmer outside. But that's still way less than 1.6 million or 2.5 million or 2.6 million. Donald Trump changed. He stopped the border, or he stopped people from illegally crossing the border. Why are New Yorkers having a hard time with this?
25, these are calendar year numbers from Customs and Border Protection.
Well, I know the answer is Trump. That's your answer.
95% reduction in border crossings?
Yeah.
What changed? No, I don't know. What changed?
That's what I'm asking you. What changed?
You're going to say something about the president?
Well, I'm asking you, but the president did change. That's correct.
Yeah. That's it.
What changed?
I don't know. Is this a Trump-related thing or a Democrat, Republican? What is the focus of this?
Yeah. You mean the question, or are you talking about the answer?
This is Pennsylvania.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly why it's been reduced so much. I don't think it has anything to do with Trump.
What? What are you talking about?
What is the angle on this? I'm just trying to get it right.
This is a top 3 issue, and border crisis appears
It's not a top issue for me. I think it's ridiculous.
What changed?
Administration. I feel like that's a trick question.
How is that a trick question?
What is the trick? What am I being trickster about, huh?
You had to ask the people who are crossing.
What?
Policy change, anything that you think is the reason for the 95% reduction in illegal crossings, or no?
Probably fear.
Well, I would say the Trump administration, these people don't feel welcomed.
They don't feel welcome to come in illegally?
Right.
So primarily fear, maybe Donald Trump is a deterrent for crossing illegally into the country?
Maybe.
Trump's administration?
Maybe.
Ben, right?
Yes.
Mr. Ben, well, it's a huge pleasure to finally meet you. We got to get your take on this today, okay? What changed?
Oh, President Trump.
T-Dog.
T-Dog, yeah.
Okay.
I say Donald Trump. Did his job. He stepped in business and he did what he needed to do.
For sure.
Got ICE out there. ICE doing their job, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I feel like Donald Trump, he did what he needed to do this year.
If immigrants are illegal, they taking up our jobs. So
resources, maybe.
Everything. So I really think Trump is doing a good job to me.
I guess they're doing their job for once.
Yeah.
It's about time.
It's about time?
Yeah, it's about time.
Do you find that to be a good thing, getting the border under control?
Yes, I do. You go into some of these countries, you automatically go right to jail, and who knows what after that.
You think it's a good thing or a bad thing that we have a 95% reduction in illegal crossings? Yeah. Why do you think bad?
Because I don't like borders. I think that it's like everyone's world.
What are you talking about? Y'all are crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. I'm a little confused how Biden allowed America to have 2.6 million crossings. Was it 2.6 million? I think it was 1.6 million. How did you allow millions of crossings? How did you even do that? That is terrible. How come nobody said anything to him? And why are the citizens here against having a strong border? That is delusion. What if someone tries to invade America and we don't have a border? We're done for. We need a strong border. And Donald Trump did a good job by securing the border. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I get it. Half of the country didn't vote for Donald Trump. Half of the country did vote for Donald Trump. It's like a 50-50 split. It was like 52%, whatever. I don't remember the exact numbers. So people are going to disagree with him. That's just natural. And the next president, people are going to disagree with them. And the one previously, people disagree with Biden. But you still have to be more objective in the good and bad things they're doing. A bad thing that Biden did was allow too many illegal crossings. That's just the truth. But Donald Trump is securing the border and making it safer objectively for the people who live here.
You think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think that's a horrible thing.
Okay. These numbers, this includes unaccompanied minors, human trafficking, child trafficking. Should we be getting that under control, or you like it that way?
I mean, I don't like child trafficking, but
over the last 4 years, we had 500,000 unaccompanied minors coming across the southern border.
yeah, I'm sure we did. I personally, there's no way for me to be against immigration in any form.
You're talking about child trafficking, you're talking about human trafficking. This is record-breaking statistics here. Should we get that down?
Not necessarily.
Yes.
No, I think America's strength is in its diversity, whether it's legal or illegal immigration.
We have a lot of welfare programs, social safety nets in the United States that taxpayers pay tens, hundreds of billions of dollars into. Is that for the world or for Americans?
It depends on what it is, but I think that we have some socialist systems like medical insurance, and I think they mostly work well. So
For sure. Do you think it's sustainable if that is for the rest of the world?
Well, it's not for the rest of the world because the rest of the world isn't trying to come here.
Well, if you believe in open borders, though, wouldn't that just mean, hey, unfettered?
They're not all going to come.
How do you know who's coming in?
I know. No one ever knew who was coming in.
I'm sorry, man?
If you suck on it a little harder, he might let you go to the White House.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good argument. All right, you guys, if you are interested in growing your...
Nah, that was a crazy thing to say. Crazy thing to say. See, like I said, some people hate Trump. He is naturally, or this administration naturally is more polarizing because they're just doing things completely different from the way Biden did things. An example of that is the border. Like, they are completely polar opposites on how they handled the border. Biden kept an open border. Whether you agree or disagree with it, I disagree with it. He kept an open border. Trump said, nope, we closing this thing down. We're not allowing nobody to come into America, point blank, period. He's deporting people. That's just the truth of it.
Yes, how do you know that the immigrants or the illegal immigrants coming into the country are not child molesters, right? You asked me that question.
No. I said traffickers.
Yeah.
But hold on. I was saying, how do you know who's coming into the United States? But what I was talking about is, we're talking about over the last 4 years, record-breaking human trafficking, child trafficking.
Yeah, well, how do I know that you're not one of them?
One of what?
A trafficker.
I guess you'd have to take my word for it.
Exactly.
So what are you saying?
What? What is he talking about?
When it comes down to this, Biden's administration, the Democrats, they said that their hands were tied regarding this border crisis. This is the worst border crisis in American history. Well, it appears to have evaporated. Did they lie to the American people or no? What do you think?
I can't speak to that. I don't know that they lied about it. Yeah. I think they could have done a better job for sure.
Who? Did who lie?
Biden and the Democrats. Did they lie to the American people about that?
I think it could have been handled better, but I don't think they lied to the American people. I don't know. Your methodology's a little off here. So.
What would you prefer it be? Did the Democrats lie about that?
Absolutely.
Was a lie. Why Trump did it in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. Week 1.
Yes.
That's true.
So it was a lie?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was a lie.
Yeah.
I think it's fighting everything that had came before. And I think a lot of Democrats were complicit in some of this stuff. And there needs to be changes in the Democratic Party if we're going to move forward.
But if we're talking about like week 1, starting week 1, illegal crossings plummeting, getting under control, that's all it took? Just a different president? No legislation was needed?
No, I think it's been misrepresented.
What do you mean by that?
I don't think it did just fall like that. I think the numbers were off. I think that,
You think these numbers weren't correct under Joe Biden?
I don't really know whether those numbers are correct or not.
I can show you on Customs and Border Protection's website if you'd like to see them. Yeah. But, we're talking about the worst border crisis in American history right here, and then it just ended. So what's going on there?
I don't think it's the worst border crossing in history.
By all available data.
It is literally the worst border crisis.
We've had this coming for a long time. And then we came into office, the Biden administration, and I think trying to get a handle. I don't think they handled it right. I don't think that was done.
Well, if it's all natural, right? If there's no cause and effect.
Wait, if this is correct, why is ICE going and wanting to deport people now? Why are they attacking people?
What is she talking about? I'm so confused. What are you talking about? Am I crazy? I don't even understand the line of reasoning she's on right now. Why are people acting like this? This might be Trump derangement syndrome, bro. Like, this literally might be in 4K. This is crazy.
Now, you have Customs and Border Protection at the southern border, and then you have ICE that does removals, sometimes at the border as well as internal.
Immigration.
What is wrong about ICE removing people in the country illegally? What is wrong about
removing everybody that's illegal in this country? They came in and said they're removing criminals. Now, here we are looking at people that aren't criminals, just taking them off the street without due process. That's not what we do in America.
I think it's in the Constitution. You don't have to be a citizen to get due process.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right about that. Immigration is a different thing. So when it comes to due process, I'm glad you brought that up. Due process is like, let's say somebody's in the country illegally, right? There's many people like that.
Yeah.
Somebody's in the country illegally and they rob somebody. They get due process in like a criminal court, right? Whereas immigration is actually an administrative process. So they don't quite
get... It's not
get...
in the Constitution, so...
It's different things.
It's a different thing, so that's not protected under the Constitution?
Not quite. Not really, no.
I thought I was reading today
That's why immigration's not like a criminal process. They don't sit in front of a jury. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, for example, due process rights for people that are in the country illegally, or maybe you want to use the term undocumented, let's say they're a recent arrival within like 100, 200 days. Yeah. There's basically no due process. They pretty much just pick them up, send them back.
Is that the law right now?
It's always been the law. Isn't this just enforcing basic immigration law when it comes to removing people that are in the country illegally? It's like a 2010 Democrat position, isn't it?
Legally. Where is due process being enforced legally? Nothing in this country is being run.
What does due process have to do with immigration, really, when it comes to...
If you're going to pull people out that are in line, that are doing what they should do legally to become citizens, and you're going to have ICE coming out and pulling them out of the courthouses and getting rid of them and sending them to places that are torturous, no, that's not due process, and that's not the system.
Yeah, a due process does apply to people that are in the
bro?
country
What
illegally.
are you talking about? We're talking about people crossing the border. The numbers went down, and now we're talking about due process. We're all over the place. What is going on here? Am I crazy? I know I'm not crazy.
Hey, that would be like in the case of a criminal court, not an administrative process.
They've done what they're supposed to do in due process, and they're still being picked up. They're going into fields and picking people up. They don't even know what the backgrounds are on these people.
But they're allowed to do all that.
No, you're not allowed in this country just to go in and round up people and get them off the streets. No.
If they're in the country illegally and they violated 8 U.S. Code 1325, yes. Is your stance that you don't want any border security at all?
To be honest, I haven't thought about what level I would want. I just don't think that people should be punished for trying to get a better life.
What?
What about people that are coming?
That's like saying, so that's like somebody trying to rob you. They break it into your house. They're like, oh, I only broke into your house because I needed some money to send my kid to school. I don't care why you broke into my house. You need to go to jail. You need to go to jail, bro. I don't care why you stole my car. You need to go to jail. You need to be punished. I don't care about none of that. Because you don't care about it. If somebody tried to steal your stuff, somebody tried to run off with your phone because they needed the money, you would want them to be punished, but you don't want that for the country. It doesn't make sense. It's hypocritical.
Here that are, let's say, gang members or whatever it may be. We have Tren de Aragua, MS-13.
Sure.
How do you figure that out at the border if you're not really enforcing it? What do you think?
I mean, are they really enforcing, like, U.S.-born citizens that are also gang members? that are also hurting people. You know what I mean?
Police and FBI, probably.
I mean, probably
You don't
not.
think so?
Not really.
You think they could be doing a better job?
Yeah, I mean, think about the people. There was a serial killer that was caught here by a U.S. like just people who were just out and saw his photo. There's,
Who put out the photo of him?
I think a sketch artist did, but also like the Sunset Park shooting a couple years ago, the police didn't find him. Some random guy at a bodega found him. You know what I mean? Like, I think.
Do you think police prevent issues like that from happening or deter issues like that from happening?
No, I don't. I mean,
would you feel safer at a concert with no police officers than a concert with police officers? Just curious where you're standing on this.
when I'm at a concert, I don't check if there's police officers.
But the idea of it, would you feel more comfortable if there was a police presence or no?
Honestly, no.
NYPD's right there. Would we prefer them not be here or would we prefer them to be here?
Yeah, I'd prefer them to not be here.
I am showing people this figure, and a lot of them don't think that this is a good thing. What would your response to those people be?
Well, it's really a shame. Our standard of living is pretty high, and so naturally we attract a lot of people. And I mean, I know people from I know a lot of people from other countries, but they're here legally, and they go through the process. And a lot of the legal immigrants don't like this. A lot of the legal immigrants are against the people just walking across the border, and because they didn't do it right.
Trump imported the South, Africans, the white Nazi South Africans, and they paid
What was
a bunch
the evidence
of money.
that they were Nazis? Weren't they all waving American flags and stuff?
Oh, come on.
Do you have a problem? You have a problem with that? What was it, like 150 people?
Yeah.
Over the last 4 years, there was about 10 million illegal
I have a
crossings
real
at our southern border.
problem with him importing white people when everything that's of color is getting rid of.
What are you talking about?
What about the last?
He is not deporting black people. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. This is just straight A. This is S tier delusion, bro. This is S tier delusion. This is S tier delusion.
4 years, there was over 10 million illegals that entered the country illegally. Are you cool with that?
You're going back to that again?
Well, you're focusing on 150 people or so, and I'm asking you if you're cool with the 10 plus million that came in over the last 4 years.
I don't care about the 10 plus millions.
What about you, man? Where do you stand on that? What do you think?
I'm not really too big on politics, but when I do look around, like New York is very crowded, and I've been seeing like it's segregated too. When you go in certain parts, you see a lot of it like they just took an over and shit like that. And I see what Trump be talking about. He did move off of his word though.
Do you guys think like the 10 plus million people that entered the country illegally under Biden's administration is contributing negatively to the housing crisis in places like New York?
Yeah, as far as now, yes, because I'm not even gonna lie, the shelters is overpopulated right now, and they still trying to figure out what they need to do with the crisis of overpopulating up here, because right now it's bad up here.
Minimum of 10 million people coming into the country under Biden. Do you think that those are negatively impacting housing, crowded classrooms, all of that?
Well,
Do you think that's too many people in 4 years?
Well, again,
yes, it's too many people in 4 years. Yes. Please say yes.
Yes. Well, I feel it should be a shared sacrifice. I think a lot of cities like New York had declared themselves sanctuary cities. So then naturally people felt comfortable coming here and they overwhelmed our system. And a lot of the essential programs like education and other city services were slated to be cut by 10 or 20%. And it was affecting the quality of life here in New York.
Was it?
So, yeah. So that became a big issue.
I'm not from here, so teach me about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's right. So it did affect
So
a lot
feel
of
free
the
to
quality
take
of
it away.
life. Putting people up in shelters, and they would stay up all night, and so it affected the quality of life of the residents here.
Really quick, back to the immigration thing. I mean, we're talking about basic immigration law that's being enforced here.
I think
if you're in the country illegally, you got to go, right?
The basic immigration laws, I think we'd be okay, but we haven't done that.
That's literally what's being done right now. People have had green cards revoked. In fact, we used to not allow communists into the country.
Yeah.
That's kind of based. I actually agree with that. Do you agree with that?
After World War II, we brought over the Nazis.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
Yeah, it was.
Scientists you're talking about.
Scientists and non-scientists.
Probably the case, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, what we're talking about here, you're talking about people that are being deported that are here illegally, but they're not committing a crime. You still violated immigration law, and therefore immigration.
Bro, she don't care, bro. She don't care. She couldn't care less about any law or any right thing that you're talking about. She's picked her side, and she's going to lay on it. Anyways, please make sure you like and subscribe. My name is LFR Jojo, and I'll see you guys on the next one.